Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at XRP then, shall we? And I've just made a video on Bitcoin, so I'm not going to bore you to death on what that means, but I will just summarize for you that I've decided to take my profits, basically. So I've taken profits here. I know that there's plenty of room to move up. I know that we could reach 20,000, but basically I'm feeling as though the sentiment is too high for me right now. It's too stressful. I've made a lot of profit and I've decided to cash out for the moment. And as a result, that basically means that I'm going to cash out of everything. But don't worry, it does mean that I'm going to re-enter the market. But right now, this does look like it's far beyond its top. And if it does FOMO all the way to 20,000 and beyond, it's certainly going to retrace massively after that, because historically that's what's happened. That's how it plays out. But it's not the end of the world, all right? It's just we're not even we've got another 13 months, maybe more, before the end of this Bitcoin cycle, which means the end of the cryptocurrency cycle as we know it. That also corresponds to the way that XRP moves. XRP moves essentially in the same time zone as the cycle, but it has a completely different method within that time frame. XRP goes down for a very long period of time after a parabolic high. We'll see a bit more obviously here on this chart, which is longer. This is the second time it's done it. It did this before, and it spent basically just over 70% of its entire cycle retracing from a parabolic high. Something that I'm kind of expecting in a short time frame with Bitcoin when it's finished this parabolic run now. Now, basically, what this video is about is that we have entered, and I'll show you here on this chart, we have entered a period of accumulation with XRP, but the big moves are yet to be had. So, unfortunately, on this run, we didn't make it to the top of this blue box territory, which is 31.5 cents. Now, that could still be made. Like I say, just because I've taken profit doesn't mean that I don't think it's going to go any higher. Just as many people, almost everybody, nobody can buy the bottom and nobody can sell the top, but they can make a rough educated guess as to where those will be. So I've taken profits on everything at the moment. The only thing that I've kept going is my trading bots, because they do enjoy actually the price action movement, so they're going to stay on. But everything else that I've got in spot, and I'm certainly not margin trading anymore. Not until this is all fully played out. I'm just going to leave these bots to run, because they've got such a high degree of success even in downtrends. I mean, look at this one. I mean, I'm sort of deviating from the point, but I've accumulated in the space of 1 day and 18 hours 54% more Bitcoin than I had, a couple of days ago. So you can't really go wrong with these bots. But as far as my personal accounts are concerned, my spot accounts I've cashed out. So what I'm going to say here is the interesting component to XRP. So I don't know if you are aware of how Ichimoku clouds work, okay, but they're a really, really good indicator of long-term trend progression. So what happened here after this parabolic top here, what we saw is a massive decline, which is exactly what happened after 2014. We basically had a parabolic high, and then from 2014 all the way to the end of 2017, which is basically around here, that's where we went parabolic. But the moves sort of began around this area here. We can just about make it out here. So what happened here is that we were trending at very, very low prices, and the parabolic top prior to that was around about this level here. So it had taken 3 years to get to this point here, which is basically where we will be around this level here. Now, if we look at this, and we have to look very closely, what we've just seen is an Ichimoku cloud cross, which is a conversion crossing the baseline. And what this means is that from this point forward would be a very strong buy signal. Now, we are still within a cloud on the weekly, being rejected from the top of that cloud on the weekly. So it suggests that, yes, if we did break above here, then there will be a massive move. But the chances are we're going to remain within this cloud. However, this cross is a buy signal for a long-term hold. So this being long-term until the end of this cycle, which is going to bring us up to around about December to January next year. So 2021 into 22. So when we see this cross here, where the cloud goes red into the green, what this means is that this is where it's going to have the freedom, finally have the freedom to actually make some giant big moves, basically bullish moves. And if we go back in time, when did we see the sentiment change? Around about January into around about March, April, May, and then we saw a big run by then. So I would say that at this point now, XRP is essentially at the bottom. When we get this dump with the cryptocurrency in general, which is what we will likely have, we will see a dump across the board, provided that this Ichimoku cloud stays crossed like this, which I imagine it certainly will do. We are all good to go for January, and in January is when we're going to start to see some epic moves begin, and then towards the end of next year, this chart will actually be dwarfed in the size of the moves that take place. People don't understand XRP. You know, I've looked at it long and hard. It's interesting because it's not correlated to Bitcoin like everything else is. So I really do feel strongly about this chart. And I take a lot of heat from it, to be honest, because most people just assume that everything trends with Bitcoin, but XRP doesn't trend with Bitcoin. XRP does its own thing, and that's why I like it. I gravitate to a chart like this because I'd like to try and understand it, and I have understood it. I'm telling you now, this isn't the first time it's played this entire cycle out. This is the second time it's played this full cycle out, and at the moment we're getting towards the end of what would be, I suppose, the accumulation phase, and we will start to launch quite heftily into the bull market. Its own bull market, and I'll show you something else just very briefly. It was my Fib retracement. The bull market will begin for XRP when the red zone is taken out, and that roughly leads us up to about 86 cent. Well, we should be seeing 86 cent taken out between the areas of January to about May. That's when that area will be taken out, and then it's at that point then that most people will want to FOMO in, because they will see that there has been a massive change in XRP. And it might be a little bit too, well, it won't be too late for them, but you would want to really be getting in at the bottom, which is essentially what this is. When you see a chart like this, you could see it in two ways. You could see that you could look at it and go, it's dead, or you could analyze it and see that actually it's performing exactly to the T how it performed in the previous cycle. The previous cycle looked exactly like this, and exactly the same. And it's only when we reach this point here where the cloud starts to go green that we have the freedom to move up and away, and then when we break that 86 cent zone, we will start to go parabolic. These areas will be taken out. Shouldn't be a problem for these to be taken out even before the end of the cycle, which is where it really does go parabolic. So again, you know, I will reiterate this, and I'll continue to make videos on XRP, but the long-term trend for this is about to start to go extremely bullish, and it's going to take most people off guard. They're not really going to understand what's happening, but I'm telling you now, this is what's happening. You've got to look at it in the long term. And again, one of the best things about XRP is that it is an old coin. You know, it's one of the oldest ones out there, and it's got a really large market cap. The fact is, because it's old, it gives us opportunity to look at the way it's behaved in the past, and the way it's behaved in the past is exactly the way it's behaving now. So because of that reason, this is a definite buy down at these low levels, which they are very low levels. You know, we're talking a minimum of 20x from these levels here, and maybe even 40. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there, but thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and feel free to check out these bots. I do have links at the bottom below. You don't have to pay for them. I mean, if you wanted to carry them on after your 14 days trial, then you could decide if you wanted to pay or not, but it's not going to ask you for any money up front or anything like that. You can simply just click the link, you get yourself a pro account for 14 days. There's a demo account on there, so you can play around. I've got tutorials on how to use them as well, so you can have a look at that. And basically they do have a really good win ratio. I mean, every single coin here is massively up. If you look at the bot profit, this is how much it's accumulated, so the amount that the bot has earned for you, and then this is the amount of your portfolio in general anyway. So it's an absolute beauty of a bot. And like I say, if you wanted to pay for it, there is a monthly fee, but otherwise test it out for 14 days, see if you like it, see what the rewards are like, and check my tutorials out as well. But it's very simple and easy to use. And join my Telegram as well. I've got a Telegram chat, and it's all free. It's just people in there just chatting about crypto, lots of trade setups, this, that and the other. But other than that, I hope you have a nice day and take it easy.